You guys, right now it is 5 a.m. in New Haven, Connecticut. I want to share this dream that I had. I want to share this dream. I don't know if it meant something. I don't know if it's a warning, but I literally woke up from this dream. Right now, I'm in the bathroom, about to get ready for work. This dream has to be a warning, and it's from the government. I'm gonna share it. I was on the bus, like the CT transit bus. I was on the bus on my way home from work. It was a sunny day outside, on my way home from work. And I'm on my phone, and I was gonna make a phone call to my mom to check on her. This is a dream, okay? Keep this in mind. This is a dream. And as soon as I was about to dial my mom's number and call her and check on her, all of a sudden my phone blacked out. Not just my phone, the whole entire world, everybody's phone, even on the city bus, everybody's phone blacked out. As everyone's phone blacked out, it was a message at the same time. And all you hear is dun, 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 dun. This is a warning. This is a warning. This is a warning. Everybody lost electricity. Cars, buildings. There was no electricity at all. It was like the world just shut down, blacked out. Everyone on the bus is looking so confused. They're all looking at their phones. Our phones are pitch black. And all you hear is, this is a warning. This is a warning. This is a warning. The next thing I knew, I look outside the window as I'm on the bus. I look outside the window and I see people killing each other. I mean, smurder. Everybody, including myself that was on that bus, was panicking. Like, we were all afraid. We were in panic mode. But as we're all looking out the window from the bus, you can see nothing but people smurdering each other. I'm talking about left and right. It was so graphic. It was so graphic that I got scared in that dream. And I started having a heart attack in that dream, to the point where I woke up and I started sweating. I jumped out my bed. My back was sweating. My chest was sweating. Everything was like, I was just hot. I was sweating, and my heart was like boom, 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 boom. I said all that to say this. People might not know that dreams have a meaning to it, but I feel like dreams have a meaning to it. And I don't know what this dream means, but I'm gonna tell you this. Y'all better be vigilant. Y'all better be vigilant, because this dream felt real. I don't know if this dream means the purge or a terrorist attack. I don't know what the dream meant. But what I can tell you is that the dream means something. And the government is up to something. Okay? They're up to something. Y'all better be vigilant. Y'all better stay woke. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. The dream that I had, where our phones had blacked out and everything blacked out, everything shut down completely, and folks is murdering each other left and right, y'all better wake up and take heed. And I'm sharing this dream to y'all. Y'all better save this video. Y'all better save it. Y'all better share it. Because whatever that's about to happen, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how. Okay? But from New Haven, Connecticut, I'm here to let you know that y'all better be vigilant. Y'all better take heed. Something's gonna take place. Something is going to take place. And I don't know when.
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, I just want to do a quick lesson on pretty much, the dream that, that woman had of, pretty much all hell breaking loose. The woman had a dream. She was from New Haven, Connecticut. The woman that had the dream, she was from New Haven, CT. And she pretty much had a dream that, all hell broke loose, while she was, either leaving or coming from work. I think she said she was getting off work, and she attempted to call her mother and she wasn't able to, like everyone's phone, shut off. She said it was pretty much a nationwide, blackout. Everybody's phone wasn't working, and it's pretty much, giving a warning, or, from my estimation, the emergency alert system, we all know the sound, that it gives, you know, and pretty much how people, were pretty much murdering each other. Because again, that's the time that we're in where these things are about to happen. This is why movies like, The Purge, and The Walking Dead, it's a TV show, but there's a reason why movies and TV shows like such are being released, because the elites are letting the public know what they're about to do. They're telling you through movies, through TV, that all hell is going to break loose, that America is going to collapse, So I'm just going to bring out a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And again, man, that just goes to show you that we are in some very, very crucial times. We're in some very serious times, man, because again, more and more people are having dreams of, all hell breaking loose, of the nuclear destruction, of our Lord Yahweh Shai returning. We're in the last days, man. We're in the last of the last days, and things are heating up more and more. Things are gradually getting more and more difficult, man, So I'm going to start with the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 28. And it says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit." And right, man, obviously, women, they don't prophesy, but again, the Lord is pouring out his spirit upon these people, It doesn't matter, Israelites and the heathens, because the Lord can use these heathens, as well. But this Israelite woman, so-called black woman, she had a dream that again, all hell broke loose, pretty much Jacob's trouble, if you will, man. She seen it, and she said she woke up from that dream, man. So from the way she described it, that wasn't a dream, that was a vision, man. The Lord gave her a vision of what was about to take place on the earth. These things are about to take place, man. And the Lord is allowing these people to have these dreams to bring them out ultimately, for the elect's sake, to help edify, because again, this particular video has been going around, and it's serious, man. This is how we're getting close to the time of Jacob's trouble. We're still in the beginning stages, but, again, things are getting more and more serious. Donald Trump just released the National Guard in Washington, D.C. He also said he wanted to release, the National Guard and, other militarized police forces in other cities. I forgot all of the cities he named, but, I know for sure D.C., because he wanted to clean up the Capitol. Seeing clips, earlier of, the police being out there, pretty much coming to get, Southern Kingdom. When I say Southern Kingdom, I mean you Judites, you so-called Negroes, man. Because again, a lot of you niggas, y'all laughed at, Northern Kingdom, Issachar, so-called Mexicans, because the ICE is still, rounding them up and detaining them, and Slakia, they're detaining them and deporting them, to wherever. But meanwhile, you don't understand that, again, you niggas, y'all ain't exempt either, man. Esau is going to come for you too. He's going to come after all of us, But again, this goes to show you that we are in some very, very serious times, man. So let me get the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, in verse 1. And as you can see, the subtitle reads, difficult times will come. And indeed, man, those times are on the way. We're starting to feel it now, all of us. Everyone, especially here in America, we feel it, man. Something major is on the horizon, man. Things are getting more and more difficult by the day. So there's 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. And right, man, those times are coming, man. Let's look up that word perilous right quick. Because again, these are the times that are approaching us. And this is Strong's G 5467. And it says Kalepos, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And what does it say? It says hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage, man. And that's the time that we're approaching. Some troublesome times, some very dangerous times, man. Because again, danger is on the horizon, and that's what we're out here doing. We're prophesying and letting our people know that danger is on the way, But what do you have? You have certain of these other Israelite groups that are not properly warning their congregation. They're not properly warning their people of the impending doom that is coming, man. Because again, the Lord is about to unleash Esau, Edom, And when he does, he's primarily going to come after you wicked niggas. Obviously, he's going to come after all of us. But the Lord is going to allow him to run through the wicked of our people, because that's why we're out here to warn you of the things that the Lord is about to bring upon the earth. So just real quick, I'll grab that in the book of Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning for me. And right, man, the next 3 verses or the next 4 verses, it gives you a description of what will happen or what will happen if we don't warn, our people versus if we do warn our people. We're getting that blood off our hands, obviously, just roughly paraphrasing. If we don't warn our people and they die in their sins, their blood is going to be required at our hands, But if we do warn our people and they don't take heed to that warning, then they're just going to die in their sins, but we're going to be delivered from it, And again, if we warn our people and the ones that take heed, not only are they going to deliver themselves, but we're going to deliver ourselves as well. Now, we're not literally going to save ourselves, but again, we're delivering ourselves from death, for being put to death by the Lord for not properly warning his people, because we have to warn our people, even the wicked, because there's no excuse, the warning is going out and none of our people are going to, not know, or you're going to have some that, just won't know, but still, for the most part, the men of the Lord are still out on the streets teaching, the internet is still up. So our people have, time to get this word while they can, but, they're misusing their time, to folly. So real quick, I'm going to jump to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, and verse 15. And it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And indeed, that's what we're doing, man. We walk circumspectly, meaning, we're watching everything, man. We're paying attention, because again, danger is around every corner, man. We can be taken out at any time, so we have to watch our surroundings, man, everywhere we go. I myself, I'm a very observant brother. I'm always watching my surroundings, even when I'm at home, I'm watching, paying attention to things, man, because again, missing something, it could very well cost you your life, man, or not paying attention, I should say, can very well cost you your life, because again, we know what time we're in, or know what time we're approaching, so we have to redeem the times, man. We know these days are evil, this world that we live in is evil, man. Because just like it says in Job 9:24, the wicked are in authority, man. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, So therefore, this is why the earth is in a condition that it's in, And these are very, very serious times. Like like notice I said we, because again, starting from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down, we can't stress enough about how serious things are about to be on the earth, man. Because us talking about it is one thing, but experiencing it is going to be something completely different, man. No movie or TV show is going to be able to come close to the time of Jacob's trouble, because again, it's going to be so serious. It's going to be the worst time upon the earth, since there was a nation. So real quick, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12, because again, she said when she was on that bus, she was seeing people unalive each other, right? So this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12, and it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So right, man, people are going to be taking each other out, in these last days. Especially, once the famine is in full effect, people are going to take each other out, to get their goods, because the famine is still looming, These people are going to lose their shit, man. I forgot who said it, but, just roughly paraphrasing that quote, he said, but when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. And that's what's happening here in America, man. The American people are losing it, man. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's stressed out, because the price of everything is going up while the pay remains the same. Pay hasn't increased, but everything is getting more and more expensive. So therefore, it's going to add to that stress that the people already have, man, until people just, lose their effing minds and, just go crazy. But again, we were warned, about the time that was approaching, right? So it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 6, and it says, ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. And right, man, the time that we're approaching is going to be so bad upon the earth that men are going to be afraid, man. Excuse me, Slakia. And if men are going to be afraid, how much more the women in that day, man? Because what day is it talking about? Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And right, man, that is the time that we're approaching. The time of Jacob's trouble, man, is going to be so bad upon the earth, man. We can't fathom exactly how bad it's going to be, but it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be so bad that Michael the Archangel is going to have to step in on behalf of the elect of the nation of Israel, because again, all Israel will not be saved on this side. Michael the Archangel is going to have to step in on behalf of the elect to help them, So I'm going to get that in Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in a book, talking about the elect. Their names are written in the book of life. They're going to receive salvation, while 2/3 of the nation of Israel perish on this side for their wickedness. And again, just going back to that, main point, where she said people were taking each other out, because again, that's the time that we're approaching. So I'm going to get the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2, and it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor. city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, that's going to happen. Race wars, race riots. Nation against nation, city against city. These things are really about to take place. And you Americans, when I say you Americans, I mean of all nations, especially you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You niggas, and when I say niggas, I mean of all tribes, man. The ones of you that ain't right. You niggas are not ready for what's about to happen on this earth, man. You're not. Which is the reason why the Lord is going to destroy you. You niggas refuse to get right, so the Lord is going to just, wipe you out and then bring you back to the elect, But again, that's what's going to happen. People are going to be taking each other out, man. So he's going to get a couple more, and that'll be it. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, and verse 14. And it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And right, man, that's the time that we're approaching, where people are going to take matters into their own hands. They're not going to regard, the mayor, the governor, the senators, even the president himself. They're not going to regard what he has to say. People are going to take actions into their own hands, in these last days, right? Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, martial law. And we're starting to see that now in Washington, D.C. They pretty much, without officially declaring it, they have declared martial law, because they have troops down there, pretty much rounding up you niggas, because again, a lot of you laughed at Northern Kingdom. Now it's you niggas' turn, man. Just like the saying goes, Northern Kingdom first, Southern Kingdom the worst, right? All 12 tribes are over here in America, man. And the wicked of you are going to suffer out here for your wickedness, So I'm just going to get one more, and that'll be it, man. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, and verse 70. And it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." So right, man, those that fear the Lord, the elect, And again, there is going to be a great insurrection. People are going to, rebel against the government, and take matters into their own hands. People are going to, again, it's going to be lawless out here, So people are going to regard, again, what the president has to say, Verse 71, they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Right, man. Esau, Edom is going to be like a madman out here. These these different troops that are going to be out here, it's not just limited to the National Guard, because again, a lot of these soldiers are going to be sent overseas to go and fight during World War III. But again, right now, DT is militarizing the police, so it's going to be martial law, man, out here. And these troops, they're not gonna guard, man. They're not gonna give a damn. The only orders is just gonna be to take out whoever they see, or to throw them in a concentration camp, Verse 72, and this will be it. It says, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." So right, man, again, people are going to be going from house to house, seeing what their neighbors have, seeing if they have any supplies, ultimately to take them out if they do have any supplies, man. People aren't going to give a damn that they were neighbors, that they were cool. This shit, when you're hungry, man, you're damn near do anything, and that's going to be the case for these people out here, man. They're going to go to extreme lengths. They're going to be out here doing things that they never thought that they would do, just so that they can survive. And we're starting to see that. We're still in the beginning stages of it. And again, it's looking like it's getting to the next phase where things are getting, gradually more and more difficult upon the earth. So the time of Jacob's trouble is coming, man. It's coming. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the artists of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till next time I say, Shalom.